Okay, now we're on air. This is kind of for anyone who's really able to make it today. I know it's been tricky with all the scheduling. Again, I wanted to bring to note that we have a Kickstarter now, and we're currently sort of working out the details of the Kickstarter. I believe yesterday we were working on getting people to participate, to figure out if we had an art department or stuff like that, and to get people to work on animatics and stuff, so that we can actually do the project properly, stuff like that. So anyway, I'm gonna go into screen share right now so you guys can see the Kickstarter. Just let me bring the page up and you guys can voice your concerns. I know Francesca's online. I talked to John about 2 hours ago. I think Alexis was a little bit concerned because she assumed it was going to be the same few people. And really, this is more of like a crew chat primarily, which is kind of what's important. But anyway, I think the Kickstarter has been doing really well so far. Yeah, I think our first move is really that we need to do some animatics and some sketching so we can understand kind of what we really need as a crew and as a group. So I'm gonna pull it to screen share right now so you can, anyone that's here can see the Kickstarter page. So this is the Kickstarter page as it stands currently. I gotta proportion my screen correctly. But I've put photos for most of the main crew. Justin, I could only find really one picture of you.
Oh, nice. You found my school play headshot.
And, some of you guys have witty descriptions underneath. Yeah, from who were you in Spring Awakening, actually? Because I am.
You know the show?
Yeah, I know the show.
I was Herr Sonnenstich, the Latin teacher.
Oh, the teacher.
Herr Stiefel. I was his father.
Oh, was he the guy that made Otto die, or was that somebody else?
Otto doesn't die.
No. What's his name?
Moritz.
Moritz.
Yeah, it was Moritz's father.
It's Moritz. So yeah, currently, this is more to just get this one's more about the Kickstarter. We're currently, the description is a concept trailer for a teen dramedy for the new decade, which I think is pretty a pretty apt description. We're looking at a 37-day long Kickstarter with a $6,000 funding goal, even though we haven't started yet. That's really what we're working with. I'm gonna try to get more people on. I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, everyone's very talented and game to be on this project. I think for some reason it's just been hard for people to make these meetings. Yeah, so Justin, you were saying, what were you really thinking about yesterday, now that you kind of know what we're going to be shooting exactly?
Well, I wasn't in the video chat yesterday.
Oh, okay.
If you saw, I asked a couple questions.
Yeah.
I sent you a couple questions about where exactly it starts and where it ends.
Okay, well, I can talk you through that. Basically, in the script, we are taking kind of parts of the first 12 pages, like it's bits and pieces of scenes. And so it's basically some from the middle climax where it's all the party stuff, and then then we have some stuff in the kind of the end where there's the breakup scene, and then there's that one small scene of him staring into the distance at prom, which would actually make a good trailer start portion. So it's really
that would.
Huh?
That definitely would.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Do you have a link to the Kickstarter page?
I can give you. It's not live yet. It's not live yet, so I'd have to give you the email to. I'd have to put your email into the Kickstarter.
That's fine.
Join. Do you have a Kickstarter account?
I don't. Should I create one?
Yeah, it's free and it'll give you access to edit the project and write your biography and stuff. But basically, we're working right now. I think we might have to here's the thing. Like this project is as much as a used car, hypothetically, like a cheap
Right.
car. So, but again, used car money is like different levels of used car money, which I think is important to mention. But yeah, primarily, you know, I think Jalen right now is busy with some charity work in Baltimore. That's why he's not able to join us. Francesco was here about 5 minutes ago. But I'm basically, like I said, with the Kickstarter, we're working at $6,000 currently. And according to my description, if I said this correctly, because Francesca's mom is maybe not letting us, lending us some equipment for the shoot, which means like cameras and some pretty good cameras actually. Which means our real like concerns, according to the Kickstarter, I'm gonna go back into screen share, are our camera equipment, or technically not, sound equipment, a place for you guys to stay during the maximum 2-week shoot. I'm not sure if we need permits, but it's good to have the money just in case for shooting permits. There's the cast and crew shirts, costume budget, costume and hair and makeup, and then lights. So really just bare necessities for a shoot. Very bare necessities for a shoot, which is really what we're going for. The thing with Kickstarter is the bare amount of money we need to fund the project, and then some padding for rewards. You know how Kickstarter works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the thing is we raise money, and then we use the money for the project, and in the process we also have to, you know, give back awards.
Right.
So how this is going to work is I think so basically you can tell me what you were thinking of yesterday. Did you watch the stream, or were you kind of?
I wasn't able to watch the stream.
Okay.
But
so,
like as far as like the overall shooting style and everything, I feel like I've got that locked down in my head.
So what are you thinking really? Like, what's your process? What are you really thinking that you wanna do?
So okay, I haven't said this to Alexis yet, but I think we're gonna shoot it widescreen.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and see if there are ways that I can get it to be kind of anamorphic. You know, because that kind of gives it the stylized look I'm going for.
You want like anamorphic lenses or something?
Well, if it's possible to obtain anything with an anamorphic lens, I would. But considering that those are typically kind of difficult to get, there's you can do in post.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, we do want to keep this budget low.
With widescreen in mind.
Widescreen?
Yeah,
why widescreen, exactly.
Why widescreen?
Cinematic look, right?
Yeah, cinematic look, stylized look. If you've ever seen you know, any of Edgar Wright's films or Rushmore by Wes Anderson, that's the type of look I'm thinking.
Right, and yeah, that's definitely important. Okay, yeah, Nathan's busy, but yeah, we're just really discussing general stuff.
Plus, if you use widescreen, you also have greater use of negative space, which I think you could utilize to emphasize the Drew's status in this world.
Right, because you've seen the trailer for Perks of Being a Wallflower before, right?
Right. Yeah.
The scene where he's walking down the hallway and the papers are.
Yeah.
Like a slightly light-hearted version of that. That's kind of what we're going for here.
Right.
Yeah, and I think what we really need to do now is that we need to do like a really. I know we're getting close to school, and we're gonna do more as school came up, but I think it's important that we lock down someone for animatics and storyboarding.
Yeah.
I think that's very, very, very important because that way that way we can, you know, have something for. You've seen videos for Kickstarters, right? It's like they have a concept of how it sort of works, and have concept art that'll strengthen our case for for a better better teaser and stuff. Um, do you like Alexis? Let me look through the chat from yesterday really quick. The group chat. So what she was saying is we would potentially be working with let me see. So yeah, we need to have a budget for a dedicated hard drive, which is essential. And you know, like people like Shane Carruth.
Yes.
Like he's done stuff on like 40,000, I think, and it still looked really.
Yeah, he did he actually, I think he did Primer on like a budget of 7,000, and every shot he had to get perfect because he could only film it once.
Right, and if he can do that with Primer for something of this, like of a relatively small scale, and that overall is 3 minutes of edited footage, you know, minus what we do if we fully render the scenes that we shoot, because we're really shooting a lot of the emotional and like status quo scenes.
Right, yeah, and we don't even use film, so we have that leeway.
Digital does cut our costs. So she was looking at like the Panasonic AG DVX200, which was one. If we don't get anything that good, I mean, I think we will, according to Francesca, but our goal is then to spend as much money as we can on post-production.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely we're going to want to make use of post-production stuff here.
Right, post-production is going to give us a lot more professional look. So in terms of like what you really want to kind of do with like your side of the project, like how stylized do you want it to go? Because if you look in, because you know Alexis is like a more dramatic take on this, and then John comes from a horror comedy background. So.
Well, like I said, I think the stylization is primarily going to come from the composition of the individual shots and the color.
Yeah, color is definitely something.
Like the angles used and stuff, how things are framed.
I think we can play with the sharpness of image.
Yeah.
A lot to get like a very good kind of image. Yeah, I think people will trickle in maybe in a little bit, so we can just keep talking about our stuff. But yeah, so basically, do you think are you gonna do like camera, shot, replace, like, you know, shot, move, shot again? Is this?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
You know, just to save costs.
Yeah. Okay. Totally. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. So you know. Camera, shot, move, camera, shot, move, camera, shot, move, you know, like that. So that's a really interesting, that's a very low, the thing is then our schedule is going to have to be very, you know, we're going to have to get up really early, and we're going to have to, you know, because you need time to move stuff.
Yeah.
And this isn't even, you know, the funny thing is we still don't have a sound person yet, like an on-set sound person. So that is going to come in later. I think what's also important is that we also shoot like things. I don't know if you were kind of able to get the flow of the conversation yesterday, but we were working on a social media campaign.
I heard
one Instagram for the entire production, and then people post stuff from the point of views of their characters. We can also do like small shorts. Like really short shorts, like not even that long, of like from certain characters' points of views or stuff like that, or like kind of like short like 30-second clips set to music of like certain characters.
Yeah, what you're going for.
Like their overall aesthetic. So like with Drew, you know, it's like against a certain background, or there's like certain animations around him or stuff like that. Kind of like what they do with Suicide Squad, but not nearly as flashy and as you know, in your face. Really, it's kind of more subtle and more you know, not as flashy and as you know, much more subdued. I think definitely what we're going for tone-wise can kind of be sort of somewhere between like the newest Spider-Man and something a little bit more absurd. Because if you saw like all the trailers for Spider-Man, right, and you've seen the movie,
yeah,
like those scenes where, you know, he's pulling books out of his locker, and, you know, he's walking. You know, down the hallway. Those are things that we can really kind of, you know, take to, to use as inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in the visual semester, right?
Yeah.
You know anyone else in the visual semester right now that would maybe be interested in helping us with the pre-visualization of the project?
I'm not sure. You know, I think I'm probably gonna meet people in the next couple weeks who I could try and enlist.
Yeah, because I mean, our here's the thing. Like, we want you and Alexis and John and the core. See, you, me, and then everyone else that's has section on the Kickstarter so far is the core creative team.
Yeah.
And we need to do as much as we can on in the pre-production side before we can actually shoot, and we need to get it as tight as possible. Because here's the thing: like when we go down to shoot, school will still be in session.
Right.
Actually, school will still be in session for the high school that I go to, which means it's really going to be whenever my principal says it's okay to shoot, which would probably be weekends.
Okay.
Stuff like that. I'm pretty sure like my school's drama department, like because the drama department at my school, it's small, but a lot of the kids that are in that drama department know each other, and they would be willing to PA or AD or be extras. So that's something that we really don't have to worry about, because the thing is, like, we're keeping this as low budget as possible, and unless we bring in somebody who's not a student of any kind, then that means payment. And we're trying to keep this as low budget as possible. I mean, everyone signed on. You guys signed on because you like the script, and you guys understand that this is potentially the first step to an even bigger project.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Yeah. I'm gonna try to get everybody else online, but yeah, that's really what's important, is that we take this as like the first step.
Yeah.
That we're all going to do various projects in the years, but I think this is something that's very unifying for all of us.
Definitely.
We've all had this. It's my experience of what I wrote is kind of, there's commonality that everyone can find in it. So this is something that I hope we can do more work on. Also, did you talk to anyone else that you know that might be interested in helping out? I remember you had a friend who acts a bit.
Oh yeah, I haven't gotten around to contacting him yet. He's kind of been MIA during this summer.
He's an NYU student, right? Or is he?
Yeah.
And I believe we were planning a table read in late September, if we can get casting done by then. Like, the thing is, this is a lot of planning on my part and Francesca's part, and occasionally, she's not in the best state. Sometimes she has some issue. She has some personal issues that make it difficult for her. Right. But it's really, we're doing the best we can here, and this is why the Kickstarter is still not in live mode, because it's it's definitely like something that is it's definitely something like it's a work in progress.
Right.
Like, it's something that we need to work on consistently, and then and we need to kind of get to the point that we really need. And I think there's a lot of potential for this project. Like, you've read the entire script at this point, right? Or
yeah. Pretty much.
Like, I mean, like, it hits kind of a lot of demographics. Multicultural cast, which is mostly true. I mean, it does have a pretty diverse cast. And, it strikes kind of as best a balance as it can, because it starts out very mundane, and then it goes to very entertaining, but it ends on like a very profound note. So there is potential. Like, our job with the teaser is to kind of showcase that, because I know, like, from a script perspective, and I don't know if you know this about like screenwriting, but you can send a script into like an agency or the blacklist or whatever. They can read it, and then they'll kind of go based off the script. And sometimes the script isn't enough. Like, you can have a good script, but it's easier for someone to back a project if they can see it. Like the Wachowskis, Warner Brothers gave them a budget, right? And they shot like a small part of The Matrix.
Right.
Concept. Baz Luhrmann did the same thing with his version of Romeo and Juliet. He shot like one scene of the Capulets fighting the Montagues, and
Right.
that's what got them the funding for the whole scene. We're doing the thing is we're students, and we know we can do this kind of script, at least parts of it, on a relatively low budget.
Mm-hmm.
And that could potentially get us more opportunities either to advance this project or for other projects. Yeah. So, like, are you sure you're gonna be fine with like just you running all the cameras and stuff? Because I'm thinking in terms of
I can hopefully I'll be able to enlist a person or two to help me with the lighting.
okay, because right now I'm kind of looking at my calendar. Alexis, I don't know if you heard yesterday. She said she wanted to start shooting on like the 22nd of May of next year. I know for them that's either that's going to be our day of scouting, or we're going to be shooting. So depending on that, we could be either shooting in 3 locations: at my house, somewhere at the local mall, the local Tyson's Corner Mall, or at my high school. Which actually I would have to check on that. If it's prom, then there's an early release for prom, hypothetically, which means we might be able to squeeze in some shooting. If not, that means that we would have to shoot the school scenes that weekend on the 26th. If we can get pretty much the entire school scene shot. Of course, there are some school scenes that are going to be a bit tricky. With the multiple versions of the same character, that could be something that we could address whether or not we want to shoot down the line.
Yeah.
You know, it's very dynamic, sort of. I would imagine it as being kind of like a whip pan thing. Like him at the center, and then one version, whip, next version, whip pan, whip pan, whip pan.
I understand that.
Whip pan, like that. Alexis is here. We're live. She just got her tonsils out.
So she can't really speak, huh?
She can't really speak, but I'm going to give her the link to this stream to watch. She was a bit bummed because she knows how people can be with timing.
Right.
It's, you know, I mean, like, here's the thing. Remember Matthew?
Yeah.
Like, I think, you know, he had the right idea, but I think once we get to school, this will be a bit easier. These meetings are more so we can just familiarize ourselves with each other. It's a little. Yeah. I have talked to John. He is on board with the project. It's just it's difficult because he lives in Houston and on Central Time, so it's a little bit difficult to kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like as far as Matthew went, you know, I did understand his concerns, but I think this will get smoother once.
Because we're working on long-term things. We're going to be releasing short videos, and we're going to be, you know, using a social media.
Right. Yeah.
And leading up to this shoot. To kind of bring in interest.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, I feel like this phrase that my parents used to say that I think kind of applies to this situation here, which is, how do you eat an elephant? You know, you take it piece by piece. You know, and a big undertaking is going to require breaking it down into smaller parts, which is what we're doing.
We're going to, right, exactly. So right now we're focusing on the short. What immediately will be going into production is the short social media stuff, which may take a month or two. So, you know, like short 30-second character clips for each character, you know, on like an appropriate background, music, that kind of thing. Social media posts. I mean, I think that there's a way we can do this because other bigger films have done things like these kind of campaigns. But we have a we understand it better because we're not like, you know, an advertising agency. We're part of the creative team, so we know how to correctly market this project, and do that. We know how to market this project properly and with accuracy. I think is also kind of the key that we need to know, because all of us, we're all pretty generally well versed in social media. You know, my friend Riley from Canada, he ended up directing a video for a local rapper from his town, but that guy found him through Instagram, and you know, he's done like a bunch of web series and fan films and stuff like that. Riley has, so he's also pretty well versed in
also, I have a Kickstarter now.
Okay. So what's your email? I can send it to you right now.
My email is jmwoolman, WOLMAN @gmail.
jmwoolman@gmail.com. Okay, and then you and I can both pull up the Kickstarter, and you can
see what's going on there.
See what's going on exactly. jmwoolman.
JMWOLMAN.
Yeah, your last name. Does your middle name start with an M?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the ability to edit the project and manage the community, which means you can publish project updates.
Okay.
Yeah, if you check your email, it should be there. But basically, right now for the people in the crew that have biography slots open, it is me, or mine is done. Francesca still needs to do hers, and then it's Riley based off comments he told me, based on based on things that he said. He actually had a pretty cool quote there. If you actually pull it up and you go in, you'll be able to see his quote. It's actually a pretty funny quote. But yeah, Jalen also has a slot because he's. Did you get the email yet?
I'm checking right now.
Okay. jmwoolman@gmail.com.
Yes.
I typed it in right now. But yeah, I think right now our goal may be a little low, but since the project's not live yet, I can update it as we go along the year and get a better sense of budget. Our costuming budget is probably going to be relatively low, given the type of film not even the type of film, just the type of teaser. And we're not shooting a complete film, so we don't need multiple wardrobes for each character, at least not yet. So the budget should be lowish. Let me check and see if I. Yeah, jmwoolman@gmail. Okay, yeah, you're in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm reading right now.
Yeah, if you go to the story section, we can actually work on your section right now, based on kind of. So, like I said, we need to shoot the following scenes under what we need. It's really 5 types of scenes, which can be easily done in 2 weeks. Actually, even a week. Alexis, she was shooting for a week, which I think is kind of ambitious. She was shooting for 1 week to get the whole thing done, but I honestly think we're not going to be able to do that because we're shooting in at least in 1 or 2 public locations. That's going to be tricky to really work out. The scenes at the mall, we're going to have to think a little bit clearer to think if there's a way we can pull it off.
Yeah.
But that will come with time. Okay, Francesca will be on soon. I will give her the link to the group chat. It's important that she's here today since she's on the producing side, which is important. We do have one more producer, but right now he's chosen to take a slightly more offhands approach with it. He's a rising sophomore. He'll be a sophomore once the fall comes, and he's very clear that this is our first pass at the project. But I feel like even if this is our first try, we have to make this as good as possible.
Right.
It's also let me go get a card of somebody that I got today. I actually met with a business friend of my dad's today, just by coincidence. Let me go grab that card, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because I may have found someone that can help us with funding, because that person actually owns a TV. Hi, Francesca. I'm going to go get a business card of somebody really quick. I will be back in 1 second. So, okay, I'm back. So, earlier today, there was I met with a business friend of my dad's who runs several businesses. That one is I'm gonna ask if Riley can join. This person has actually been on a lot of flights with my dad to and from China where he works. His name is his last name is Karubas, I think, and he actually owns a small studio space in Maryland, and is a friend of the person who's in charge of the public broadcasting education side of Columbia. And this is somebody that my dad has established a rapport with and could potentially lend us funding. Potentially. Anyone have anything to say? Okay. Justin, so yeah, that's one thing we can do. That's one way of doing it where we have a, yeah, I know you're talking in the Google chat, Francesca. I can see your little bubbles, but that's one source of funding. If we need extra funding, because I think crowdfunding is still our best way of doing things. Because we can't. My dad runs businesses. You can't really rely on one investor to do anything. Right. It's just safer to have multiple people, on board. It's just that's just how it goes. Crowdfunding is risky, but it can be lucrative. If you guys have ever heard of Rocket Jump, the online web studio, they did the web series Video Game High School, which they did on like $100,000 budget, which is very high because they were doing a 6-episode web series. In contrast, we're doing a 3-minute movie trailer with like a week of footage, which we can do on a vastly more affordable scale, like vastly more affordable, incredibly affordable, which is completely doable. But yeah, that's one source of funding we can do. I highly suggest that we try to reach out to as many people as we can to provide funding once we get to that stage in time. Right now, what does everyone think is a good idea to launch the campaign? Because right now it's locking at 37. I've heard that shorter projects get more results. Do we want to lower the days of the fundraising at all?
I think we should leave them open.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of income, like overall for like us as a crew to support our own individual projects, Patreon would be good. Patreon would be good if this was an ongoing series project. We're really funding for the teaser. Right. Unless you guys want to do Patreon so we can also add a bit more production value to the smaller shorts and stuff. Also, the thing with Patreon is we need some sort of presence to have already been established before we, have the chance of even doing Patreon, which is the difficult thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works. But yeah, I think that's kind of the important thing is that Patreon is exactly we can. The thing is we would need multiple bank accounts for that though.
Right.
Right. So.
May not be the most convenient.
Right. Okay. So who would want to do multiple sites? I'm really would be focusing on Kickstarter, and actually I don't know if it's a breach of terms of service to go on multiple sites. I'm wondering if that's a breach of contract to have the same project run on multiple sites. Indiegogo does have flexible funding though, which is also a big plus, which means whatever money we raise, we will get. Whereas with Kickstarter, if we don't reach our goal, we get 0 money. But Kickstarter, I mean, technically, it's really between Indiegogo and Kickstarter. They have the two big. Huh?
Indiegogo might work if it's a film project.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, we're still considering our options here. I mean, there have been films that have been funded through Indiegogo and both Kickstarter, so both are still viable options. Um, does anyone want to open like a PayPal thing so we can get more consistent funding even during the production? Okay. All right. You know, like so we can get more consistent sources of funding during the production, like set up a PayPal account. Exactly. We set up a PayPal account and we ask people to donate through the PayPal account.
Right.
So, you know, maybe. Okay, yeah, you do need to make money. Okay, yeah. No, that's the PayPal thing. Do we want to start an email for the entire kind of production? Do we want like a website and like a thing like that? Do we want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we are good on website. Alexis was here like 5 minutes ago, but she said she might skip out. Also, I was thinking, what do we want to film first? Because the way this is looking right now, we are going to all meet, or as many of us as we can, on Saturday, September 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
That's confirmed. And then later that month, we will do a table read of the entire script. I guess maybe a week later, we can break the script down into, besides the stuff that I already outlined in the Kickstarter, to target more specific scenes. I think what we're really having trouble with is makeup and costuming, because we've had people jump into those positions and leave, very, very quickly. It's very important that we have people for those positions. Nathan's getting a tattoo, that's why he's not here. But I'm saying, so here's the idea. Do we run one central account, or does each character have their own account? How do we want to do this? Both. Okay, so what would the central account be for, basically? Basically, the central account is general promotion, and then, the rest is, memes and stuff, behind the scenes. And then I think Alexis wanted to do the character Instagrams from, the point of before the movie, but I think after the movie would also be kind of interesting. Like after the events of the film would actually be more interesting to do than before the events of the film. And that's more realistic since most of the time, since we're in college now, we're going to be on college campuses most of the time. It's more easier to do all the viral stuff in the point of after the events of the film.
Mm-hmm.
So for Drew, it would be chronicling his adventures at film school or doing whatever. And then, stuff like that. We would be able to kind of work out the details from there. In terms of where does everybody want to meet? Like for meetings and stuff. Because I live in Weinstein. And, since all the dorms are in general proximity to each other, where do we want to meet?
I mean, there are common rooms in 3rd North.
Okay, so that can work. Actually, that can work really well. Let me read back some of the stuff that Alexis said yesterday. Because Justin, you weren't here, and she let's see what she said. Again, it's like we're doing a 2 weeks maximum shoot. We're going to need a dedicated hard drive for all the footage and sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when we should get that. And then, what do you want to edit on? Do you have a Mac? Do you use Final Cut Pro?
I use Premiere on a Mac.
Okay, so we're gonna probably stick to Premiere, just based on versatility, that it can be ported between multiple platforms, which is key. In terms of sound, like I know we need lapel mics, but we don't really need a boom person, do we?
I think if we're on a low budget, lapel mics might be better.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to make sure they're not seen.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we're gonna go with lapel mics. That's definitely like a plus for us because lapel mics are actually lower budget than boom mics. We're gonna have to figure out a way to hide the mics in the collars though, which is key. Because when I was on Spider-Man, like they had packs in like basically their back pockets, and then I don't really remember where the mics were, but they were hidden somewhere on the body.
Mm-hmm.
With the lapel mics, then don't we need someone on site managing the mixing, or is that all done in post?
What's that?
For the lapel mics, do we need someone on set managing sound, like the mixing and the tracks, or is that?
It would help to have a sound person.
It would help to have a sound person. Okay. I'm gonna try because Alexis was discouraged, but let's try to get whoever else we can on here. It really is kind of frustrating because people scheduling wise is really and then it's just like it's frustrating. But I'm basically so on your end, I think you basically are working your end is basically covered financially because your equipment is basically going to be free, more or less, coming from Francesca's mom's workplace, because her mom works with a TV production company. So you're basically set on that end, which is fantastic. What else is there? I think definitely. Do you want to look at scenes right now that you would maybe want to shoot if we could both pull up the script right now, or if you want me to pull up the script, that's fine because I can do the screen share option.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay.
Oh, actually, if you could hang on just a couple minutes because I need to go take care of something real quick.
Fine. That's fine. I can wait a couple minutes.
Yeah, and then I'll come back into this chat.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
Okay. See you in a couple minutes.
Yeah. Okay, do you have any questions? Best to do. Right, so we're still live. We're obviously, we're doing a lot in terms of financial and stuff like that. It's really good that we're like talking everything out. It's communication on any project is important. It's very important. So we're going to be looking at the script pretty soon. Right, so we are looking at, I really wish I knew how to do like separate pages for everything. So yeah, I mean, it's the magic of filmmaking is primarily project based. So yeah, it's interesting because there's also been a guy feigning attendance at a bunch of colleges for his YouTube. Very interesting times we live in, guys. Very, very interesting times. But yeah, we're gonna do a live read of the script sometime in the future. For streaming purposes, I assume we could actually live stream an entire read for the benefit of the entire audience. All right, so this is the script again, which some of you guys have seen several times at this point. Presentation mode will work a little bit better. All right, so this is presentation mode. Page author's note, which we can. All right, so I'm gonna highlight a couple scenes in this document that seem like they would be good for shooting. This scene we can. A lot of pings on my phone today. This is also like a really good scene. Keep getting like pings today. This is interesting. We're looking at this scene. We're looking at this scene potentially. The montage various. I haven't really ever highlighted this version of the script. So yeah, we're looking at hallway afternoon. Interior hallway day. So yeah, there's some scenes that we're currently highlighting. Yeah, like a lot of them. This is a fun one that's doable. This was Office Day. Also, like a really good scene of the key scene. Yeah, there's actually also like a movement going on campus in response to what happened in Charlottesville, which is very tragic, and people are getting together. People from LaSalle and other schools have so yeah, that's another scene. Good scenes all around. Strong scenes, definitely. And this solidarity letter is getting really popular. So yeah, we're looking at a couple scenes. A lot of the montage stuff. I don't ever agree. You know, it's like it takes time. In terms of soundtrack, that's also really important. You know, the key is don't miss a meeting, even if you think it's important. I'm gonna play some music, I guess, for the time being, and it's okay to play some music. Um, hmm. So there's like a letter that's going on. But yeah, it's amazing people that you can meet and know. It is a damn fucking shame sometimes. It really is. What music should I play right now? Let's just play something soft here. Honestly, I'm in too many Facebook chats today. This is the dawning of the rest of all. I mean, I could have gone to UC. I honestly could have gone to UC. I'm really kind of upset that I didn't get to go to UCLA. In terms of music for this project, if anyone is, frustrated, but I'm basically, so on your end, I think
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. So
Yeah.
To go to UCLA. Okay. So okay, I have the script up. I've been highlighting stuff. So we might actually be able to sub in for a couple scenes. There's of course we can either do the opening scene of the script where he breaks the fourth wall, and I gotta say this is like honestly this script breaks the fourth wall in like the first like 30 seconds of the movie, which has got to be.
If we're talking a trailer here, are you sure you don't want to keep the fourth wall breaking limited to like the actual script itself?
Yeah,
and confine it to voiceover in the trailer?
Yeah, maybe keep it voiceover in the trailer.
Yeah, that would probably be a smarter idea.
That would really spoil the surprise. We can probably use this sequence. Maybe not the last. We could CGI that somehow. Maybe later on, right before release, we could. But this is also like a good trailer bit. And then there's the opening montage. And this is kind of really the meat of what we're doing is the sequences from like 4 to what, like 4 to 12 ish, give or take, is the meat of what we're doing. So any of these scenes with Drew and his friends, etc., stuff like that, is what we're going to be doing. And it's like that's kind of what we're doing. Yeah, so we're doing that. Those first few scenes are definitely key. Anything of that after that, there are some scenes we can do, like if we're lucky and we do end up casting someone for Chloe, it's like 13 through 14 and be done easily. We can do 16 actually, just in a random, since it's random locations of him just looking at his cell phone, and then like later post-production comp shots on, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where while we're shooting, the screen is blank, and then we like greens. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we do that later. We can obviously do some of the direct messaging scenes, but our big points are, I'm looking for it, but like 55-ish. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like 55-ish to like 57-ish, and then we have another big moment on like 84, and maybe some of the dream sequence stuff. But it's really just bits and pieces from the first. It's mostly the first part of the first act, and then the second part of the second, like a small portion of the second act, and then a few key scenes from the third, and that wraps up the trailer.
Okay.
The thing is, like, if we did do a voiceover for the trailer, would that be like almost sticking it too like traditional? Because you've seen Perks of Being a Wallflower, that trailer begins and ends with voiceover in that same way.
I mean, it could work.
Or yeah, but I mean, like, would it really be such a spoiler if we went with the fourth wall break, or would it be easier just to keep it non-fourth wall break?
I think it would be easier to keep the fourth wall break secret.
Okay, that's a good technique. Yeah, that's a really good technique.
Yeah.
That's an excellent technique. Yeah, it's good to because he's not Deadpool.
Right.
I don't wait. I think Ferris Bueller might have just used it straight away. I think they might have in the original trailers for Ferris Bueller. Yeah. Yeah, I think they might have actually spoiled it straight from the beginning, actually. That fourth wall break in the original Ferris Bueller trailer.
Well, that was different because it wasn't two separate versions of him.
Oh, right. That's true.
Yeah.
So I guess it's important that we don't spoil that right away.
I would say so.
There are very few movies. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that employs this technique that we're using here with the separation of the versions of the same character.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like it comes from a tradition of like Woody Allen and stuff, but
kind of.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone like use the technique like to in this fashion. So no one has really done it in this fashion where you separate one older version of one character and one younger version of one character. I think the only time I've ever really seen it used is Back to the Future 2, where Michael J. Fox played, 4 characters, I believe? The daughter, his older self.
Yeah.
Daughter, his older self, regular Marty, and then Marty Jr. That's the only other time I can really think of that technique working. The problem is, and I was going to ask this to you, should we get a stand-in for me for those scenes, or do we just want to shoot those separately and then comp me in later?
I think split photography is probably the better way to do it.
Which is
it's when you film, it's when you put the camera in one place and you film it with you in one place, and then you film it again with you in the different place, but without moving the camera, and then you blend those together in post.
yeah. You know, that's just how it really should work. So we just shoot them separately and then blend it together in post. Kind of like I think the Christopher Reeve Superman did that for the flying scenes, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a way we can keep it low budget. In terms of like lighting, have you like? I know I posted a bunch of movie trailers in chat yesterday. What did you want to pull from? Like, where do you still want to kind of pull from?
Well, like I said, I'm primarily coming from like the Edgar Wright school of visuals as far as shot composition and all of that goes.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You could also maybe look at, if you've ever seen Me and Earl and the Dying Girl.
I've seen parts of that, yeah.
Yeah, the cinematography in that is also something I would want to go off of, at least to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was this very like real life, down to earth story, but it was shot in a very stylized way.
Right, it was. Okay, I'm asking this more as a general question. So we're doing the table read. Do you think it's important that we get like cast roles for every person for the table read? And should we use that as like a way of promoting the project? Because we can like
we should probably have a full row of people for the table read.
Okay, because we can actually make it like an event of sorts if we want.
Yeah.
You know, and stream it on Twitch or something. That's definitely something we can do, is do a full table read that way. Because you know, Jason Reitman, he ran the live. Well, you live in LA, so you know they ran the live read series a couple of years back. At LACMA or wherever it is. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's them in LA, and they ran like a series of live reads at that museum of existing movies, and it's I think it's fun to see people you know, in a row doing a table read. Something that's fun and interesting. So yeah, what do you like? Can you walk me through anything that you've thought of that you really want to like use for this project?
I mean, I feel like I've kind of made my vision clear on that front.
Mm-hmm. Now I think the challenge is here is potentially you're going to be working with two directors.
Right.
Alexis, have you seen any of her previous work?
No.
Okay, so she's done like one documentary and one like very serious black and white music video. So she comes from more of a like dramatic background, I would say. And John did two shorts, which I may have shown you, which one was called Crescent Mountain and the other one was called Forever Alone. They're both like horror comedy shorts. They've both won awards at festivals. John won an award at a festival in Canada, I believe, and then Alexis won some festival, which I don't know the name of it yet. So you're going to be working with two different people here. It's kind of a shame that they weren't really able to be present today, and down the line that may cause some issues. But I think right now it's best that we lock down the schedule of first meeting. So I'm going to pull up my calendar right now.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to here. And we are looking at, okay, so September 2017 is the official beginning of pre-production, I would say. And we are going to be meeting that Saturday at September 2nd. I would suggest sometime earlier. And then I think what's important is that we split into groups. On the production side, I mean, on the pre-production team. So that includes, you know, me and Francesca will be team one, basically. You guys will be kind of reporting back to us and working primarily with us. You will be heading the previs team. You know what pre-visualization is, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be you, that'll be Alexis, and that'll be John. And I may get one of the writers to come on board, like, because Riley has done the thing is, Riley has worked on this project since June of last year. Was responsible for helping me with one of the first polished drafts, and you've read the whole script. So the John Cho thing was actually his idea.
Right.
It was originally supposed to be like just his regular a version of my dad played by John Cho type actor or John Cho, but Riley chose to take the extra leap forward and just.
Okay. How do you think we're going to get John Cho?
Like I said, we're going to use a lot of lookalikes for the concept trailer, like people that look similar. Because again, that's impossible unless somehow the campaign gets to like some notable people. Otherwise, we're casting based on lookalikes at this point in time. Because that's what we afford and that's what we're capable of. So we're using lookalikes. I mean, actually, speaking of that, do you want to look at the scenes with his dad really quick? I'll put up screen share again, and we can walk through what you would be thinking for that, just step by step. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going on. Shit. Okay. So wait for it to reformat. All right. So you know what I'm asking. Basically, just talk me through how you would shoot these scenes. Just think about it just based off reading it, and there's we're starting basically on the bottom of 88, and basically I want you to kind of talk me through. I'm going to give you a second to kind of read it, but I want you to talk me through how you would shoot this opening kind of beginning scene. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think it over.
I got it.
Okay, all right, let's start. All right, so describe to me how you want to shoot this part first.
Okay, close up on the doorbell as he rings the bell.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Cut to wide shot of the hallway. I'm thinking you would put him in the right end of the frame, like we would frame the door on the far right end of the frame and have him standing in front of it, and you would have the negative space in the rest of the frame.
Right, on the left, like the row of doors to his left. Okay. And then
door opens. Door opens. We see the woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back and forth between
tight reverse shot, or
tight center close-ups of both of them as they talk.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
All right, scroll down.
Okay, and then we have, it's basically that same sequence here. I'm very proud of the visitation rights line because it's something that's very in character for him. But okay, we start here. Actually, we can just talk through the end of the movie just as a practice to see what you're capable of. Okay, so loud crashing, the voice. Just do this section first.
Okay, so like I said, when we're going back between Drew and John Cho's fling, whoever that is, we're gonna keep it in tight close up, and I think we're going to stay on Drew as you hear the crash off screen and the voice.
Okay, so you're not gonna like tease it with us seeing it in the background. You're just gonna keep it like in suspense with it.
Yeah.
All right.
So then you would, after he's here, all right, you would cut to medium shot from inside the doorway, as he pushes in, and we would track the camera back as he comes through the hallway, and we would have a couple insert shots of the memorabilia on the walls, kind of starting to give hints as to who this is. And then
the big reveal.
And then maybe from a POV perspective. And then as the camera finally moves into the kitchenette, we see that it's John Cho. Okay,
and then all right, next section. I mean, it's primarily dialogue, and this is where you're gonna get to play around a little bit. The half conversation here first. I think would you just do shot reverse shot for this?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay, and then I think I'm going to skip a small part, and we're going to go to the father-son conversation portion. So this entire like lecture scene, kind of starting from the cut to.
Yeah, I would say this would be a standard kind of. be a standard like establishing shot, maybe establishing shot, shot of Drew on one end of the table, shot of John on the other end,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
you cut between those.
Okay. Yeah, again, it's pretty much standard stuff. Now,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because this is kind of the big point of this scene, and we might do another one after this, just for you to to practice a little more. But is the lecture scene? The lecture scene is incredibly important. So, and you're free to kind of do cinematography on this. So, kind of walk me through how you would do this lecture scene.
I'm thinking you keep a tight close up on John.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the lighting so that it's like kind of dramatic and serious.
Uh-huh.
As if he's actually giving a serious monologue, even though he's just talking about White Castle.
I know. There's a metaphor to it, but that's what we kind of wanted to do here. We will skip the prostitute scene because that one's pretty straightforward, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And we would never be able to get casting. Actually, you want to go back to do some of the scenes we're actually going to shoot?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to start kind of from page one of the actual script. Let's go through. All right, I'm going to highlight just for you, but this first page first. Let's start here.
Okay. Well, do you know how you want to shoot this if we're not in LA?
Just like any sort of like generic city type place. There's a place near where I live called Mosaic that's very like a chic sort of like place. A lot of shops and stuff.
I guess we'd probably have. I have an idea.
Uh-huh.
We pull back from a tight close-up on a random person's phone to reveal a wide of the whole street where everyone is walking and checking their phones and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And then we would move through the crowd to Drew.
Yeah. I was thinking, because this is through my head, like I didn't like there's a reason why I wrote it the way it was. You don't want to reveal who he is right away. So focus on like parts of his body, like his shoes or his
Well, I mean, you don't know who he is right away, even if he's being shown first.
Right. So that's kind of where we start, and then, we can start with the dialogue.
Yeah. Oh. How about you move from one person's phone through the crowd, but you keep it at kind of a mid-body level so that you see that everybody is like on their phones and stuff.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. All right, so now we're getting to kind of the fourth wall breaking stuff. How would you shoot these?
How would I shoot the fourth wall break stuff?
Yeah.
So, well, as he would come forward, and there would kind of be a point at which people started noticing him and like kind of clearing to make space for him.
Right.
And so what you would do is you would have him speaking right into the camera. It would be kind of a medium close up on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And when he snaps his fingers and time stops, that's a wide.
Yeah, everything just kind of quits.
Yeah.
And all right. So after that, there's more dialogue, and then there's the snap. What's going to be challenging for you if you're on the editing team is to move a transition from real world into kind of like previous video footage.
Yeah.
So, like, would you have it where he's like pressing the app icon and then we jump into the app, or how would you?
Well, I would have him hold the phone directly up to the screen so that it fills the screen, and then we can fade into the actual app.
Right, the audience gets sucked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when he pulls it back, we do the same fade in reverse.
Yeah. And then, of course, the montage, I think, is going to be, we can skip that for now because you're going to need to storyboard that. But let's go with the primary first scenes of Drew in his regular life. So start from kind of this portion.
Okay, so I think we would have a couple tracking shots here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we would have kind of a wide with him center frame tracking him down the hallway.
Yeah. That's definitely like a good way.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, continue.
And then does he stop at his locker before Tim comes by?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. So what we can do there is we can have him stop at his locker, and then we can kind of whip pan over to Tim.
Mm-hmm. Well, like there's the older Drew lines first, because older Drew has anchor frame.
Is he on screen for all of that?
He is. For his scenes, he's on screen. Like no one notices. No one in the scenes notice him, but the audience, he's there for the audience's benefit.
Okay, then you can whip pan from older Drew to Tim.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, and we're kind of, this is the first real big status quo scene, which is the first kind of homecoming rejection scene.
Okay, so what I want to do here is you pan up. I think you pan up from Natalie like being handed the roses. To her face as she says, "Oh, you're so brave," blah blah blah, right? And you can do a shot reverse shot type thing here. And for the trash can thing, you've seen Scott Pilgrim, right?
I have.
You remember the shot where he throws the package?
The Amazon package.
So obviously it wouldn't be that intricate, but like I was thinking a similar type of shot for that.
Like,
yeah, and then as she walks away, we kind of we have a shot of him looking after her. We have a wide shot of the hallway with not many people on either side, and her walking away like a vision almost.
Yeah,
like because she is the center of his affection
at this point in time. Yes.
Yeah, so she's going off in slow motion, right?
Like
we cut back to him. Can we still hang out? Cut back to the wide shot of the hallway, except whoops, now Abby just leaned into frame and blocked our whole view.
That you're very good at using shots to convey emotions. I will give you that.
Yeah.
All right. Again, big transition here into the principal office scene. We have the Drew talking to the lacrosse player scene.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go traditional medium, or how are you thinking here? Because these scenes that we're doing now most likely are going to be on the shoot.
This part, Could I like take a little time to figure out this?
Yeah,
part?
sure. Take your time.
Okay, yeah, I think we could just keep it typical shot, reverse shot for that part.
Okay, and
maybe. I've got an idea. He's handed the pass, right? He's handed the pass. Derek walks away. He looks down at the pass. Cut to POV of the pass in his hands, except now he's in the principal's office and the camera pans up to the principal.
That actually works a lot better. That actually works a lot better. I'm glad I'm recording this, so we'll be able to remember these ideas. Okay, principal office scene. I'll give you some time to think first.
Right.
And this may be where we would need to stand in, because I cannot be in two seats at once unless you want to comp me in afterwards.
Looks like typical shot, reverse shot here.
Okay. Okay, and then yeah, there's the older Drew reveal. Again, there's kind of, I think this is kind of like easy, where it's like medium shot of like focus on older Drew and then younger Drew in the distance kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, right? And all right, I'm gonna focus on some of the more tricky stuff right now, just to get to more micro stuff. But here, let's go for the Instagram photo spread. All right. Tell me how you would do it, kind of, because you said you wanted to edit too, right? Or you have editing experience, so.
I have editing experience, yeah, and I know the type of style you're going for.
Okay, so walk me through how you would do this bit first before we jump into the montage of the friend stuff. I do think, like, from what you've told me, like, you're the right person to be the cinematographer on this because you understand how to use shots to make the audience feel things emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of talking to someone. Could you hang on?
Oh, okay. Okay, but
Sorry, my dad just got home.
yeah, it's okay, but
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, so this section here, I guess. Small section. Because again, you don't want it to be, you know, it's up to you how stylized you want to go.
I think I would probably need more time than just on the spot right now to come up with this, because it does involve transitioning between the Instagram photos and the actual scenes.
Okay, but actually, do you want to talk over kind of the centerpiece of the trailer, which is the bomb scene?
Sure.
I know I'm like thinking on the fly, but like it's kind of good to get your first gut reactions.
Yeah.
Like this is also being recorded, so we'll be able to show this back for Alexis or whoever shows up in the big. And this might be one of the final things I talk to you about today. I'm not sure yet, but that you know where I'm talking about, the big sequence on 84 to 85. I think, like, surprisingly, I managed, because this is I don't remember how many drafts, but there's been a lot of drafts, but, you know, it's relatively been paced well. We can actually do 81. So let's start kind of, I guess, after the prom slow motion thing, because you already have an idea for that. Kind of, right?
Yeah.
An idea for that. And then, right, we start here. Start from here. And then I'll just scroll so you can read along as you think about, because you're working with a very stark set. And it's really going to be, you know, more performance-based, but it's up to you on how you want to make it visually look interesting and to balance the tension.
Yeah.
So I'll give you time to think it over really quick.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm thinking you would shoot this kind of the same way you shoot his meeting with John.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a wide Miranda, Drew. And you would probably frame one in the extreme left of their frame and the other in the extreme right of their frame.
Right, to emphasize the distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also by doing that you have a space for the text to pop up.
Right, that's a good idea. Okay. That's a good idea. So we can really skip most of the text here. And let's see. Gut punch moment here on 83 and 82 and 83. Again, this is where you get to really play around.
Oh boy. This I'm going to have to think about.
Okay.
Like beyond this chat.
Okay. So that's something that we can work on. But you think you're good for today? You think you kind of have an idea of what you want to work on?
I think we've definitely figured out a lot today.
Okay. In terms of, the thing was, like, do you think we need one more, like, conference meeting with as many people as we can get before we do the meeting on the 2nd? Because again, even the meeting on the 2nd is kind of iffy on if people are going to show up.
I don't know, because not many people are showing up for these meetings anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably better to meet in person. All
right, so we'll wait for the 2nd, I guess.
Yeah.
Something comes up. But Yeah, you know what scenes to work on. You have access to the
Yeah.
Kickstarter. Do you know what you might want to highlight in your biography?
Hmm. I kind of like it as is now.
Okay, you just like you don't want to write anything for yourself, or
Not for now.
okay, okay. All right. Well, good job. I think our next job, the only other time that we would probably do another conference is if we do find that previs art person.
Mhm.
So you can get in touch with them. You guys would need like a sort of software to share your work. But yeah, I think primarily, I think pre-production will take pretty much like almost 2 months before the shooting date. We'd be
Right.
done. And you know, intermittently we'll be shooting the other stuff in between. That'll maybe take only a few hours on a day or two for the viral media stuff. But yeah, we have like a tentative plan now of what we're doing. So, do you want to be in charge of cinematography for like even the small things?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll necessarily be available to shoot every little small thing, but I
Right.
definitely want to be kept in the loop on that.
Right, like yeah, for the overall like visual look of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So I will post this link to the final video in the chat, and I'll let everybody know, and we'll decide if there's another meeting. So I will see you next time, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been great.
Yeah. You know, if you want to draw up like some rough storyboards, like that's completely fine with me, and then you can share them with the group before we get to the storyboard person. Like even with stick figures, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
So you know, draw some stuff up and then get back to me when you can. All right.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I'm gonna end the broadcast and then I'm gonna hang up. Okay.
Okay. See you, man.